Another
Bro,
Tuesday.
how does this keep happening? We keep randomly like meeting and then suddenly we're going live and just don't get it. World works in mysterious ways.
It's a funny
However,
world out there.
I don't know how much longer this is going to last because I saw this tweet actually this morning while I was trying to enjoy my morning coffee and brainstorm and figure out my life, and my whole morning and probably was ruined in 1 second after I saw this. And I realized that our viewership is going to have probably quarter because, we've been looking at the analytics and it's mostly middle schoolers on their iPads in class. Pinterest CEO is calling on the government to ban social media for users under 16 per TechCrunch. Now, this is interesting because there's not a single person under 16 on Pinterest. So
Right.
this guy is just looking out for himself. He's like, save the kids. You need to.
Pinterest is where 44-year-old women go for interior decoration inspiration. There has not been a single 15-year-old on Pinterest since 2007.
I still don't really understand what Pinterest is. Like, I've probably clicked into maybe 2 or 3 Pinterest boards. However, they generated. Actually, I have to ask you this. I love asking you revenues of companies that are crazy. What do you think Pinterest did in revenue for 2025?
2025, 2 billion.
4.2 billion.
Okay.
Representing 16% year over year. They have 600 million monthly active users, which is unreal. So I've clicked into like 2 or 3 of these and I don't really get it. Like, I think that the links were probably from like girls' Instagram bios, but then it's just like random pictures of cabinets and shoes, but it's like kind of looks like a stock image. And I'm like, I don't know where are these pictures coming from? You just
Right.
you pick a link and then it pops up.
It's a very hard app to navigate if you're new, is my take on it. I think X is the same. Like at X we would always track the number of new users who would like bounce in the first 7 days. And for reference, like Instagram, I think is like probably I think Instagram maybe I think Instagram's a little bit higher than TikTok. Like Instagram and YouTube, if you basically acquire like 10 users within 7 days, like 9 of them will still be using it every day. So like all they had, like great business, easy to understand user experience. I think at X, it was like if you acquire 10 users, like 2 of them are using it after 7 days.
Really?
Mhm. It's
X
like
does have it like
drastically different.
in terms of like social media learning curves, you definitely need to invest in X the most for the highest payoff. Cause like TikTok is you kind of rip. Let's go, Dave. That's right. This is sponsored by Dave's Cabinets in Ohio.
Dave'sCabinets.net.
If you need any carpentry, see it on Pinterest. X is one of the, like, when I first got on X, I felt like I was a battle. Okay. So maybe this was back in 2015, but I'm like, bro, my feed is just like kind of terrible. Like I got to find people to follow. I got to like the right stuff. TikTok is just instant dopamine because they found the videos that are essentially crack that everyone likes, and then you just get flooded with it right off the bat, and then you can go from there. But X is more of a you got to invest, but once you invest, it's the greatest payoff.
I think that X is trying to TikTokify themselves with short videos. Oh yeah, aloha future Claude's victims. We're here. They haven't replaced us yet. Actually, next Tuesday, this stream is going to be hosted by Claude.
Right.
It's just going to be Claude pulling clips and AI talking over them. Yeah, to that point, I mean, I think like one of the things that the team has done is tried to become more like TikTok. And so now you have videos like this That was my favorite video from the last week. The Colts mascot Blue has gone viral for nailing a fan with a baseball at a school event and celebrated right after. Let's dig in.
Oh, and it was the person filming? Oh my gosh. And no sound. The person
celebration. He I think he hits the top of the camera and like the camera audio cuts out and then he just gives the little pump.
Also, why did they have actual baseballs at this thing?
That's crazy. This school's getting canceled.
So top social medias. Does this surprise you? Also, WhatsApp, bro, get that off this list. Okay, and this is also seems to be outdated because Pinterest now has 600 million, but still.
It's wait, what's number 13?
QQ and what is Sina Weibo and Koyashi and
These are all the
Douyin.
Chinese apps. Yeah, Blue doesn't mess around. Well, I know that this is pretty outdated because both the X and Pinterest numbers are low here. The other thing is depending on how you count it, LinkedIn should be on here.
Right. Here we go. It looks more updated. Wait, 1 in every 3 people in the world are on Facebook?
Like unless people have monthly active users.
Dude, yeah. That's insane. Where's X at?
That tracks though. I'm actually surprised it's not. I guess I would guess a higher number of people are actually on Facebook. The question is, do they use it at least once a month? Right.
Facebook now, I think my use cases for it have evolved and continue to evolve because now I've found very entertaining Facebook groups, which were when I was living on Orcas, a smaller town. The groups were amazing to stay tapped in with the community, what's going on, local events, people ranting, sport groups, and then of course Facebook Marketplace, which I love when my friends, when you post something on Facebook Marketplace, it's automatically toggled on to also share it with your friends. And one of my favorite things to do when I see someone post something is click in and see how good of a salesman they are. Some people, they're cabinet, kind of beat up, come pick it up. Other people are they're spinning people. Hey, the mom, what up?
Mom Mafia.
The Mom Mafia of Mercer Island.
Yep.
That's what they're called. I think there's probably a Facebook group, but it's a very exclusive group where you gossip. But you see some people are I'm damn, I'd hire them. They're oak table, vintage feel, hardly used, sticks to the ground, many use cases for it. So, yeah.
Have you ever gone on, I haven't even thought of this in a decade. We got a question. Kevin, will you take piano for free? Yeah, this is a good question. Would you pick up a free piano?
I've looked at pool tables, which are pretty similar. However, I actually have a super funny story about this.
All right. So on speaking of salesmen, have you ever seen that Craigslist has this they have a site called the Best of Craigslist that is owned by Craigslist?
Really?
So yeah, it has to be submitted a crazy number of times, but if something makes enough people laugh and they submit it, I mean, you can see here, in 2025, only 2 Craigslist listings globally made it onto this list.
Yeah.
I have not obviously clicked on any of these recently, but back in the day, I used to go read them because they were hilarious. So if you take a 2009 Nissan Murano, here it is, the car you were not looking for, the one vehicle that no one chooses for their first vehicle except for me, had all the warning signs of do not buy attached to it, but screamed freedom. It is average on 4 wheels. It just goes on and on and on. So this got nominated to the Best of Craigslist.
Can you click the rock one? Someone lost their rock and found it. It's number 2.
The rock was from my garden. I was just using it to weigh down the free sign. In retrospect, I should have been more specific that the rock was not part of the yard sale leftovers, but it honestly didn't occur to me that someone would think it was. LOL. So they found the
The
rock
new
a year
owner
ago.
did see this.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my best Facebook Marketplace story was when I had just moved to LA and I had to furnish my whole house. And I love this shit. Like moving into a new place and you're like, okay, I need a living room table, couch, TV stand, art, especially art on Facebook or thrift shops is great. But like, I love the grind of going on Facebook, just getting all this shit, lowballing everybody. Yeah, 40. Okay, fuck you. Okay, 30. Okay, yeah, pull up in an hour. Anyway, find this amazing couch for $100. And I was struggling. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to dish out like $400 for like a nice couch. This guy posted one for $100. He's like, yeah, I need to get rid of it ASAP. So I pull up and he like lives on the 3rd floor and it's like really hard to get it down. And we're like lifting it up and carrying it out. And suddenly he's like, oh, and like I think he like, dude, I shouldn't even be laughing, but he like fucked it up. He messed up his back and he had to like sit down for a while. So he just had to chill there for like an hour before he recovered enough to like pick up the couch. I felt so bad. I'm like, maybe I should pay this guy more because he was helping me, but
That's wild.
it was
I
amazing.
remember picking up an elliptical like 8 years ago off of, I think it was Marketplace. No, it was Nextdoor. It was Nextdoor because we were trying to like build out like a garage gym, and there was this guy like a couple blocks over from us, and he had this like it's like one of these things, all the workout stuff. It's like couches. Like you buy a couch for $1,100, you sit in it once, it's now used. So the best you can do is $100.
Right.
Like workout equipment, Pelotons back in the day were going for like $2,400. We gave ours away for free on Nextdoor last year because it's like it's outdated now. So it's like there's $2,400 down the drain. At least we used it a few times in between. So I was picking up this elliptical. It was free, and the picture was so deceiving from like how big this thing actually was. And so I was like, oh man, but I had already committed. And the guy, he was like an older guy, he had like sort of cleared a path like out of his house. And he and his wife were just like, elderly wife were just like staring at me as I was like trying to like get this thing like on a cart, like by myself. And they're like, oh, can we like help you? But then the woman was like yelling at the guy, like, no, don't help. Like, you're going to hurt your back. And so it was similar, but it was just being watched as I was like sweating in their house, like trying to get this elliptical out. There was no better feeling from when I like got this thing, like, out the door through the garage and like made it to my car. And I think it took me like 45 minutes to like load it into the back of my truck. But at least I was like out of their watch. But I'm sure that they were like sitting in the dining room, just like watching,
Looking out the window shade.
Not worth it. Should have just bought one on Amazon, had it delivered.
My problem with Facebook Marketplace, like you giving away your Peloton for free, is that granted, I guess a lot of my life has happened super abruptly. Like when I'm like moving, I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of here within like 2 days. But I'm always way too desperate when I list up on Facebook, trying not to act like it. But I'm like, dude, I need to get rid of everything in 2 days. And I don't care if I get $1 for this thing. Like obviously I want $5, but I need this out more than anything. So I always end up like usually giving away stuff for so cheap. And then that's why when I'm on the buying end, I always just lowball the fuck out of people because I'm like, if you just want to get rid of this, like I'll come grab it right now.
Yeah.
And it's always surprising.
The clearing your apartment when moving and having leftover stuff is a telltale sign. And by the way, I don't think it ever goes away, because my first experience with it really was like living in my first apartment by myself in LA. And I like rented my own U-Haul. It was when I was moving up to San Francisco, like 15 years ago. And I had only lived there for a year and I was pretty minimalist. So I didn't have that much stuff, but I like rented this tiny U-Haul that was like just big enough for like a mattress and your clothes, which is like all I was bringing. I had like done all the things. I like sold my like little like IKEA dining room table. I like sold the couch. All that was taken care of. I didn't account for the fact that I had like 4 massive house plants. Like the
Mm,
morning of, I'm like loading up the mattress. I'm like, all my clothes are like in like bins. I'm like moving all that stuff out, easy peasy. And then I was like, dude, these plants are just not going to fit. And I had to hit the road and like I had to hand the keys over to the property manager. And so the property manager comes over and she's like, are you gonna like take these plants? And I could tell her eyes were like, I'm gonna mess with your security deposit if you don't get these plants
right.
out of here. Biggest bro move ever. There was like an older lawyer who like lived in the apartment next door to me. And I was like struggling to like get these like giant potted plants just like out of the apartment. So she didn't, and I was just gonna like leave them on the side of the street. And the guy next door like popped out and was like, oh, if like you're not gonna bring them, I'll just take them. I was like, crisis
Nice.
averted. He saved me like 4 trips up and down like the 3rd floor stairs in this like rickety old like Beverly Hills apartment building. Whoever that guy is, you're a real bro.
Sent from God. I have a bro story. The guy who took over my San Francisco apartment, which was getting up there, that the house was built in 4 BC. So there's no elevator. And it's like a spiral staircase that's extremely narrow and rickety. And I had hauled, thankfully, I'd gotten 2 friends to move up the stairs with me who also hated me after because it took like 4 hours. We had to disassemble the table, like the couch, like fuck the drywall when we were moving because it was such a tight squeeze. And I'm like, dude, I'm moving out alone. I can't do this. And the guy who came and toured, like I was telling him, like, yeah, I'm like, I want to just give you all my stuff too. Like, I'll give you great prices. And he's like, dude, that's great because I don't have time to get stuff. So he just took over my apartment with everything.
That's great.
So
Yeah, your San Francisco apartment was like it was like a sheer like Mount Everest descent just to get into the lobby. And then once you're in the lobby, you were on like the 19th floor of just
yeah,
walking in a circle staircase
exactly.
until you got to the penthouse. I mean, at least you were in the penthouse
Uh,
apartment. So
yeah. I mean, that place was sweet. But let me ask you this. If you had a company, would you rather have Claude make a replica of it and like put you out of business, or Costco make a replica of it and put it out of business?
I mean, Costco is the honorable way to die.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what people are saying is happening to Celsius because Costco just released Kirkland signature sparkling energy drinks with conveniently the same flavors as Celsius, peach, orange, and tropical flavors. 24 pack for $17. Each can has 200 milligrams of caffeine. And I used to buy packs of Celsius at my lowest. I would buy like whatever the 24 packs of Celsius, which you should not be doing. But I wonder if Costco is either going to kick Celsius out or just put the Kirkland signature right next to them and price them out. I haven't tried them, but it's definitely on my list.
Our close friend of the show, Alex Cohen, posted a review. He is the reviewer, by the way, of all things, like anything free that you would get out of a like work fridge. He is like the best reviewer. His review, Costco sparkling energy drink slap,
Wow.
RIP Celsius. Almost 1 million views on this, 5,000 likes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over.
What other? I'm trying to think of other stuff that Costco / Kirkland signature has copied.
I mean, the big ones are that come to mind
Vodka.
at least. They did like really cheap. They do like really cheap but pretty high quality versions of like golf balls and like all the sporting stuff. It's like, do you want to go spend $3,000 on some new Titleists and a few packs of golf balls, or do you want it for like $400 all in at Costco? Get the Kirkland clubs out.
Batteries.
Yep. Things Costco has.
Bags. Almonds. Macadamia nuts. Oh, frozen pizza. I get the 4 packs of the frozen pizza, even though it's extremely mid. Any frozen pizza connoisseurs know that Kirkland signature may be at the bottom of the frozen pizza chain. However, it slaps and it only takes like 12 minutes to make. Trail mix, syrup, pretzel bites, protein. The list goes on and on.
Dish soap, laundry soap. That stuff's expensive. That adds up. I
What
don't
do
know
you
if
think?
Kirkland brand's better than Tide, though. Tide is a
So,
sponsor of the pod. So
what do you think the executives at Celsius did once this news dropped? I always like to imagine the war rooms that happen in these companies when it's a situation like this. Like they get together and they're strategizing, like, oh, fuck, like Kirkland Signature just released.
new protein
Oh, the
powder.
new Kirk Sig protein powder.
By the way, do you know that Celsius is a public company, like a standalone public company? It's not made by like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or like one of the big beverage manufacturers. It's like just its own company, $10 billion company, Celsius.
Valued?
Yeah, their market cap is 10 billion. Their stock is down 8.5% today, presumably on
Because
news of
of
Costco.
Costco? Holy shit. Okay, wait. Don't tell me. Also, damn, why are you typing all caps? Don't tell me, but let me guess how many cans were sold. Because it must wait, when did they go public?
Let me find this. Let's see. Celsius. All right. Celsius IPO'd on May 24th, 2017, 9 years ago.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I didn't even see it until like 2 years ago. Okay. Look up how many cans they sold in 2025, and I'm going to give this an insane spin. And I'm thinking, let's see. Gym goers and okay, drinking and Costco, tired, 2, 3. Is it not public?
I don't think so. Let's see if we can GPT it.
Have you had Celsius, by the way?
Yeah, I've had most. I'm not a big. I am a fan, but I'm definitely not like a daily drinker of it. I think I've probably had all of their like common flavors, including all the tropical mix ones. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I have a lot of people in my life who hate it, but I actually love it. And especially, I also can't find how many cans they sold either.
Okay, GPT has a range that seems plausible. Do you want to? Were you going to
I'll
use this
guess.
for something? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I have no benchmark of Bev, but I will go 400 million to 800 million.
Your top end is in, well, I don't know if it's right. It's in GPT's range, 700 million to 1 billion cans. If you back into like a midpoint, the retail price, I guess, is 250 to 350, depending on whether you're like buying in bulk or just grabbing one at like the gas station. So if you use a midpoint of $3 per can, that would be 830 million cans.
This is like a high school math problem.
Yep.
If the revenue in the midpoint,
This is like bringing me back to SAT.
that sounds
A company with
about
$2.5 billion in revenue charges $3 per can. How many cans did they sell?
The best feeling is waking up on an empty stomach. I used to wake up on an empty stomach and drink a Celsius and go to the gym. And if you drink a full Celsius on a completely empty stomach, you will get high. I think it's like probably similar to ayahuasca if you're in the woods. But dude, you'll be at the gym seeing 3 ellipticals and you'll get a horrible workout. Oh, I froze. Oh no. Celsius is coming back. Take the Kirkland signature shit off the screen.
You're back. Interesting.
Too bad.
All right, we're back. It's like the old like Red Bull gives you wings.
Dude, Red Bull, short that. I guess my ex-girlfriend loved Red Bull. But beside that, I don't really see people drinking Red Bulls anymore outside of drinking. I think frat males are keeping Red Bulls alive one Jaeger bomb at a time.
Wait, 5 Hour Energy was started by a monk.
Based monk.
Founder of 5 Hour Energy. Manoj
Gandhi.
Gaba. Huh.
Gandhi 5-hour energy. He used it for meditation to stay awake. Wow. Wait, is that fact true?
He holy energy.
He spent 12 years living as a monk in India
Yeah.
and then made 5-hour energy, and he pledged 99% of his wealth to charity. Damn.
He interesting. He in 2023 bought Sports Illustrated.
Whoa.
And that same year, the FDA investigated 5-hour energy over numerous potentially linked fatalities. Its owner, Living Essentials, has been sued by dozens of state attorneys general for deceptive advertising, resulting in a $4.3 million penalty in a Washington state case.
My neck of the woods. When was the last time you saw someone drink a 5-hour energy, or you drink a 5-hour energy?
In 87, when I was driving semi trucks up and down the Pacific coast. No, it's been a long time. I think that it definitely had its peak, what, like 15 years ago, feels like.
Yeah. In Sports Authority. I think the main thing for me is that, like, caffeine is just as much of an enjoyable experience as it is for the energy. Like, I love in the cafe in the morning getting like at least a 12-ounce drink, usually 16 ounce, and sitting there and sipping it and, like, doing whatever I'm doing. It's not really to just get the fastest boost as possible.
Yeah.
Even with Celsius, it like tastes good. You can chill with it. It's cold on a nice day. That's why on my logo wall I have loved by users of Celsius. Okay, everyone is doing loved by users of these software brands, loved by users of Kirkland Signature. This was all over my feed. Was this on your feed too?
Yeah.
Deceptive logo walls. Again, your boy Alex Cohen, he had a banger one too. And man, some of these were so good. Yeah, loved by users of cold plunges. Built for teams at companies like, it's so true.
I think that all of that was surfaced because that was Delve's, the
Right.
problematic SOC 2 security company, which, by the way, here's what I will say. I don't know whether any of that is correct or incorrect, all the Delve stuff. They have had the worst comms around it of any company in history. Like, it's like legitimately going to be a case study. The entire internet is just dunking on these people, and they released like a sad blog post that they like published, not even through their own founders, sort of kind of like saying some of this stuff isn't true without actually addressing any of the actual claims. And then this Erin Griffith was one of the ones who, I think she's a reporter at the New York Times that covers startups and VC. She was the one, like, so if the lead reporter covering startups and VC at the New York Times is on your ass, you got to come out with a statement. And so she was posting all about Delve as they were getting, thousands of likes. Unfortunate timing for their new bus ad, keeping your CISO out of jail. Compliance is done in Delve. This is a reply to one of Erin Griffith's posts.
Yeah, that tweet went insane. 4.5 million. You just got a message from someone at Delve.
Yeah.
I saw a message pop up.
Good.
You haven't been sued, you aren't trying. Yeah, there was some quote about, like, if you're not getting sued, it's not good. But this is the post that I saw about the Delve comms. And I thought this was awesome. Just this reply is hilarious. Oh boy, Delve needs to either stop speaking openly online or get new legal representation stat. They also need a PR firm immediately. There is no way this is written by a lawyer or approved by one. And if the person who did write this continues to write more emotionally based messages like this, they're not going to be in business much longer. Holy guacamole. my former bosses would be blowing up my phone to start terminating whoever was responsible for this before they got back to the office. So, epic reply by Blackroom SEC or SEC.
And so this was their comms as it got distributed through this guy that doesn't even work there. And he just sort of screenshotted the blog that nobody would have seen. They should be lucky that this guy exists, because at least he got them, 300,000 views on the response to misleading claims. That's the only way that I saw it.
Me too. That's where I saw it too. But this tweet, absolutely bonkers. Delve's marketing was also crazy because I got into this rabbit hole. So they did billboards, they did a ton of buses, but most interestingly, they did TSA trays. Did you see this?
No.
So here we go. Let's go here. This is the founder. We bought out the TSA trays at San Jose Airport, probably the last place you'd expect to see a security and compliance company, and that's exactly why we did it. So going through security, and I started getting into this rabbit hole. I said, how the hell can you sponsor TSA trays? Like, what is, I searched, how much does it cost to sponsor? Let me research it. To sponsor TSA trays. And there's this one company who runs the market. Where is this? Travel. And the price was insane. Okay. Theairport.com, security tray bin, price. Let's just do this. Anyway,
does that say $4 a unit? Wait.
Yeah. So the way that this works is that there's companies who are like airport tray sponsorships, and there's also like other places in the TSA, but they go to the TSA, they say, hey, we will supply you all the trays for free, as many as you want for absolutely free. And we're going to put an advertisement in the bottom. And I guess TSA is like, yeah, for sure. Like, we'll take free trays and you can advertise. So that's how this works. But I think it was something like $35,000 a day or some insane number.
Wow.
And then I wonder how these conversions, it's like on their site. How did you find us? TSA.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're like tracking all the conversions. I think one of the big labs like Anthropic or OpenAI or XAI needs to, or like maybe Google has money to do this. They should just one up all this stuff and just buy 747s and give them to like Delta and United and be like, here's a free plane, but it's just branded with like OpenAI on every seat.
Claude jet.
Baller move.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of insane advertising, this might have been my favorite like founder hack ever, if this is true. This guy, what's his company? We got to shout him out. Solugen. We spent $15,000 on billboards targeting one person, the guy controlling all the chemical spend at a saltwater disposal company in Texas. We mapped his commute and bought every billboard between his house and the oil field. When we finally called, he said, I see your billboards everywhere. And that landed them their first oil field contract.
At the time, it was a $10,000 PVC pipe turning corn sugar into industrial chemicals.
People keep trying to throw it away. It still works. That leaking reactor started a multi-billion-dollar company. Yeah. So I know that this is a big company now. Let's see.
This is wild because I was also trying to target a saltwater manufacturer cornstarch guy in Texas and could not get a hold of him. So I'm glad.
Solugen valued at $2 billion to $2.2 billion. They've raised over $643 million. Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's one of those places where you just invested in the S&P 500 and then your revenues are through the roof.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for them. I love the world of advertising.
Oh, this was another good, since we're on weird founder go-to-market stuff. This was just smart as a strategy where it's like you get 2 booths and you just kind of say like, oh, we spent all our money at the other booth, but you like don't like you just purposefully like dress a booth down, and it's going to be the catchiest thing at any conference. Very
Of
smart
course.
strategy.
Of course. Have you seen the hiring graphic designer? I mean, now it's overplayed.
Yeah.
But it's here. So this is all over. So this looks like it's a billboard.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking for a graphic designer, written in like Microsoft Paint terribly. Oh, I had a good one. It escaped me. I want to do billboards so bad.
We looked at the price of a billboard near your old place, and it was like, what was it, like 30 grand a week for like a
Dude,
small billboard on the side of a building that nobody's ever going to see?
ridiculous. I've never looked at billboards the same way.
That's nuts.
And okay. So if you ever want to travel to a saltwater cornstarch plant in Texas,
I do.
you're probably going to use Apple Maps, okay? Or what maps do you use? Waze, Google, Apple?
I usually use Google Maps. No, that's not true. I use Apple Maps usually if I'm like in the car.
I'm the same way. We'll catch some heat for that, but totally Apple Maps. But then the second that you're looking for a restaurant, you have to pivot to Google Maps because you cannot trust Yelp reviewers. Okay, the Google reviews are straight from the heart. However, I saw this, and it looks like it was real because I saw it in some other places. Apple is going to bring ads to Maps as a part of wider effort to boost revenue from its service businesses. So, what do you think about this?
I think it's smart because they could probably do it in a way that feels pretty unintrusive. Like in the sense of, if you're in San Francisco visiting and you just search lunch in Apple Maps, you presumably get some kind of randomized recommendation. Like of all the restaurants they could recommend on a map, they pull up like 10, and it's always like sort of a crapshoot. So if those 10 restaurants were just like paying to be in the search results and like drive more customers from like just more visibility in maps, I don't know how they're going to do this. It would be one thing if it's like you're driving down the highway, we're not going to tell you your next exit until you watch this Applebee's commercial. That's bad. But
this is Waze, which are just, dude, Waze is so funny. There's always shit like you're just trying to get to Subway, and it's like ding 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 ding. Where's the construction? It's a construction. Oh, there's 3 cops. Wait, report it. There's 10 people around you. Here, buy a pizza. It's like the most distracting maps app ever.
Waze is loved by Uber drivers and taxi drivers, by the way. I think it's because they're so bored with the drive. Like they enjoy, it's like you're driving in the casino, right? You're just like, you're reporting stuff. You're like talking on the phone. They always have 100 things going on. They somehow never crash the car. But I've noticed this, like a huge percentage of Uber, Lyft taxi drivers use Waze. The best are the taxi drivers that have like 4 phones mounted. They're like holding one phone and they're like placing bets on, like stake. And then they're like doing their predictions on Polymarket. And then they're like, like texting their cousin back home. But then they have like Waze pulled up like here. And then they have like their Google Maps. And then like there's a phone over here that has like the Uber map. And you're like, bro, what are you even? And then they ignore all of them. And they're like, I'm going to take a shortcut. And you're like,
right.
What?
Well, it blows my mind that, like, okay, I do my best to, like, when something pops up, like, is there still construction? I'll click the right answer most of the time. Like, or if like, is there still a, oh, am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Nice. Or if it's like, is there a cop there? That's when I definitely clutch up because I'm like looking out for the fellow people. And I
Right.
like that people do it for me. But the whole idea of people doing these things just out of the generosity of their heart and that people are willing to do it to like watch out for their fellow drivers. I love that idea. And I was looking into, you know, how you can see lyrics on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. And it always says it's from Music's Match, and this is the same idea except for lyrics. So I was looking at this company, I'm like, how the hell do they get so many lyrics? And it's literally just people doing it for the love of the game, but then you can get promoted the more songs you do it for, and they've essentially just cornered the market by having so many people who love to do this stuff for the love of the game.
That's crazy. I've never heard of this company ever.
It's anytime you're on
So like they
any
power the Spotify lyrics.
they power not only Spotify lyrics, but also Apple, all the streaming services.
Wow.
Let's see here. So if I pull up this, okay, now here we go. I'm going to share this tab. I'm pulling up my Spotify. It's a Zach Brown Band song because he made a debut on Survivor. Okay, so you're listening to a song, you're like, nice. At the very bottom, lyrics provided by Music's Match. So that's when I looked into it. I'm like,
Oh wow.
what the hell is this? And then their revenue is apparently almost $70 million. And that was in 2023. I can only imagine it's gone up. And I think it's like probably 90% from Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, just like huge contracts. Because otherwise, if you're Amazon, where the hell else are you gonna like source all these lyrics from?
Right. Yeah, that's like it's a bygone era though, which I kind of appreciate where now it's just up for the fans to interpret. Like there are subreddits where people will just debate, did he say this word or that word? And then like I feel like the artists are just in on it where they like won't say anything about it. It's like a super popular song. And they'll like purposefully like sing the lyric both ways if they're like performing. And so people will be like, I clipped this out of the Belgium tour. She's clearly saying people, not pothole. And then she'll like change it and be like pothole. And then they'll be like, in LA, she said. And so I've seen some of these subreddits, but this was the original premise of Genius, like which was originally Rap Genius.
Right.
I wonder whatever. I know kind of that they just like fell off, but I still see Genius links around the internet.
Genius. Yeah, I do. I see some Genius stuff. Looking at lyrics on Genius is just a terrible experience.
Yeah.
Because there's so many pop-ups and like videos popping up and stuff. But I did like how you could click on a lyric and there'd be like multiple interpretations of it and people commenting on it. Be like, this is about young shoot your mom talking about his like rough childhood in Atlanta. Like when he like shot his friend.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
And it's like, no. He actually shot multiple friends. And you're like, oh, okay.
It was his cousin, actually.
Right. All right. So the if we were to make like a music app, we could probably vibe code it in a day. And then people would go, oh, did you vibe code this? Like these features actually suck.
Right.
And this guy's been getting the same thing. Dude, did you vibe code this? This feature sucks. Been getting this more recently. And no, I didn't vibe it. Did you ever consider for one single second that I might just be retarded? And I wrote this organic saw myself.
Oh my God.
This is such a great premise for just anything in life. Like you should just write the worst cold emails of all time.
Right.
Send them to people. And then when the people reply like, dude, you got to fire whatever AI slot bot you're using, be like, did you ever consider for a single second that I hand wrote this cold email? And then at least you're getting responses.
Part of the game now is writing stuff that's like purposely bad because AI is just like so polished and good. But it's funny you say that because I did have an idea for a music app and I still believe in it fully, but I couldn't do it because Spotify has like crazy authentication. But the idea was you should be able to sign into Spotify or upload all of your liked songs. And I wanted a work playlist generator that finds acoustic, zero lyric or like remix versions of songs that don't have any lyrics to listen to while you're working so that you recognize the song, but there's no words in it. So that's my $1 million business.
Could be $1 billion business. I mean, all this stuff with like anything with songs is it's just so sensitive. It's so hard to build a business. Like even the one clip that we did 2 months ago early on where we were like listening to some like launch song. That got like copyright strike on YouTube, and all of our earnings from that video, our tens of future dollars from that video, are now going to go to the artist. It's like,
right.
Great.
I wonder if they got permission like for the launch video. They must, but vibe coded apps. Naval, who is like a Twitter prophet. I read his book. I liked it. AI coding agents can now deliver one-shot custom apps straight to your iPhone. It's the beginning of the end for iPhone's dominance. And I think he's saying like the App Store's dominance, if you can just like deliver an app straight to your phone. But it's funny that he said iPhone here, but I didn't realize that this was the case. Like I didn't realize that you could vibe code like websites and access them on your phone, but maybe also just straight up apps now. I guess I don't know what the difference is between a web app and a native app.
I guess. I mean, but hold on. If I'm looking at my apps, here's the thing. Okay, so the apps that I use a lot, my suspicion is that everything with an app is either super proprietary, is one guess, that it connects to some third party, i.e. like people or hardware. So I'm going to give an example of these. So like either, you have an app that's like a media app, right? You have Spotify, you have YouTube. Great. You can build YouTube, but you're not going to get all the YouTube content. So it's pointless to build that app. Or it connects like hardware. So you have like Wise cams, Ring cams, Google cams, something like that, where you're like monitoring, you're like thermostat. We have an app for our pool. I can like control the temperature. I have an app Savant for like our lighting system in our house. All that shit is apps, but like, unless you have the endpoints, that app also is pointless. You have apps that like connect people. So you have, everything from like iMessage to Telegram to Signal to Slack, like anything that you're like connecting people in, Gmail even. Well, then you need other people to use your app. So just having like a one-off app, there's like actually very few apps, or you have apps that are proprietary to a brand, right? Like you have like the Pete's Coffee app or Chipotle or whatever. I'm looking through the other, really or you have like finance apps. Maybe the only apps that would be interesting in like single player mode, I think like building your own games would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you really like the mini crossword, instead of having to pay for it, you could presumably just like, and then like all the other mini crosswords are just going to be bad, or they're going to be like filled with ads. There's some reason that they're free. You could just vibe code your own personal like mini crossword app just for you. And that would take like 10 minutes today.
That was like I used to have this breathwork app that was like, I think called breathwork, and they had raised like millions of dollars, and then you could do like, 4 breaths, and then they'd start charging you. And then there was like a billion vibe coded apps that were like completely free, 0 ads. And that's like a perfect use case. But I have my dumb phone with 12 total apps on it. And you're totally right that I have Maps, probably can't vibe code that. Gmail, my calendar, which maybe, settings, and New York Times games, which is the only vibe codable one. However, I like my dad and I will text each other. There's a few people who write these mini crosswords, and there's one that we just absolutely hate, one of these authors. So then when their name comes up, we just text each other like, oh my God, it's a, blanks crossword day. And so all of that would be taken away. And I like this reply. They used to say they have an app for everything, and now that couldn't be more true. Consumers are constantly looking for the next app to change their life.
I like that the reply right to that. No, they're actually not.
They're not.
No,
lol.
they're not.
Lol. No, they're not. Lol.
I think that in my prediction here, I hope that I'm right, is we've talked about this before in other ways, but it's like the way that we communicate socially, like live streaming, this is so old. Podcasting is so old. Like Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan had podcasts 20 years ago.
Mm.
YouTube is now old. Like there are YouTube. Sometimes you're watching a YouTube video and like you're like, oh, I've never seen this before, and the quality actually isn't that bad. It's bad enough where you go, oh, I wonder how long this was posted, and it's like 16 years ago, and you're like, dude, like all this stuff has been around for decades. Facebook is old, X is old, LinkedIn is old, and so it's like I just think everybody, a really special moment in consumer was Clubhouse, where it was like, let's take an app and just have like meaningful debate. Like if people are like debating in the comments, they should just like have a platform to do that. Or it's kind of interesting if you're, terminally online, really like live streaming or videos, like the only way that you can hear somebody's voice. So it was this really interesting crossover of like, we have to like plan this stream. We have to save a bunch of content for it. We have to like pick a time where we're both going to show up. If there's just a room and you can just be riffing on random things with random strangers, that becomes pretty interesting. And then so like Twitter pre-Elon spent a lot of time like trying to build out spaces like Twitter Spaces to like go compete with Clubhouse. And then Clubhouse died, Twitter Spaces kind of died. But there's some like big consumer thing that I hope will like come in the next year or two, because the consumer internet is just so boring right now. Right.
Well, this is gonna sound extremely bad and dystopian, and you guys should be thinking this because it is. However, I'm one of the biggest proponents of personal AI use for entertainment, and it's kind of a mix of therapy and podcasting and just general entertainment, where I find myself in the car maybe 50% of the time when I'm driving somewhere, and I go, okay, I could listen to a podcast, audiobook, music, I could call someone, or I could use Claude voice mode. And more, I find myself engaging with Claude voice mode, even, and just like recently I've been, along with lyrics, I'll like get addicted to a song and I'll be like, tell me about this song and like about the artist and like why he wrote the song and more about his life and stuff. And I'll just dig into these topics that are like, they feel like custom podcasts. Maybe I can go find a podcast about this artist, but it's like much more engaging when I can ask follow-up questions. And Claude is out doing the research and telling me about this. And you can do it for a million things too. Just asking questions, and it feels like making your own podcast, except like with unlimited access to information.
Yeah, and I guess the risk there potentially is that AI just hallucinates or it pulls bad sources or whatever. But that's also just how the news works. Like if you've ever found yourself in a news story, like where there's like a third person reporting on what happened in a situation and you were in that situation, like the best example is like when I was at X and XAI, like all this press and stuff would come out and be like, dude, I was in that meeting. Like this, I don't know like what source you got on this, but that is like categorically false. And so our policy was like, you just never respond positively or negatively to press. So let press do their own thing. But then like all of that stuff snowballs where it's like, oh, this is happening at OpenAI. And sometimes like Rune will come out and be like, no, it's not. And it's like, he's like a pretty senior engineer there. Like he would know presumably and have no reason to lie about this. And so, AI hallucinates, reporters hallucinate. Like they just make shit up. They get bad sources. Sources make shit up. Yeah. So it's everything you're reading online, you have to take with a grain of salt anyway. And so if it's like an AI response, you just keep that in mind.
I think that is like Sora kind of flopped like for like 2 days. I was like scrolling through the Sora feed of like AI generated videos, and I've done like Notebook LM or whatever Google's saying, where you can like actually make your own podcast from source material. And people keep saying like, oh, the future of like content is AI generated, which I like half agree with, but I can see this future because I'm so entertained by talking to Claude like about these random things. Or it's like you just like start brainstorming with Claude. What if I did this? What if I did that? And like, of course, if you can call someone and waste their time and like talk to a human, there's certain things you want to do that for if you're venting or like for therapy. Like probably don't rely on Claude, but if you want to like learn more about an artist, or you brainstorm about your business, Claude is like a great entertainment source. So I think
we need to do a series where we hit random drive-throughs and we treat the drive-through speaker like we're talking to Claude. Like pull up to a McDonald's drive-through and go, "How many cans of Celsius were sold in 2025?" And the guy's like, "Sorry, are you paying with the McDonald's app?" And you go, "No. Answer my question. How many cans of Celsius were sold in 2025?"
you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
Bro, the drive-through guy is hallucinating. You forgot my fries.
Random strangers Google things for you.
McDonald's hallucinated. Self-checkout machines. That's the future of entertainment.
100%.
I got a people are buying Xboxes, PlayStations. I just bought my own self-checkout machine. It's so fun. You can scan stuff, you can call an attendant.
Yeah, you should have like a price scanner for the stuff in your own house where you're like, "Wait, what did I pay for this again?" And you just go get a price check on it. Did I overpay for this wine?
Speaking of OpenAI, did you see that they are offering a guaranteed return of 17.5%?
Yeah, I saw this story and then I saw some responses to it.
Is this real?
Yeah, this is real.
Okay, OpenAI is offering private equity firms a guaranteed minimum return of 17.5%, as well as early access to models not yet in public release. And so this article just talks about that.
Wait,
so how do you do this?
So wait, go back to the article. I still don't really understand. So they're offering PE firms guaranteed minimum return of 17.5, offering early access to its newest AI models, and seeks to enlist. So I think that this is the best take on this, which is, let me find Will's response, because I sort of like glazed.
And they're just trying to beat out Anthropic for money.
All right, this is the correct take. Many people that are calling this top have failed to realize that the entire post-war global order is built to make whatever is the largest CapEx risk asset return 30% net of fees. If this fails, the entire West goes. Don't worry about Sam. He can financialize his way out of this. This is true, by the way. There's just like, the way that finance works is that there are just like, if you are taking the largest CapEx risk, and you were trying to do anything, like in the 80s, it was bonds and like creating like new financial models. In the 90s, it was like building out like the internet ecosystem. In the early 2000s, it was like all the telecom. Like people forget that Carlos Slim Helou, who is at one point was like the richest man in the world, like not that long ago. And he was like a telecom guy in Mexico.
What was his company?
If you have like a, let me see.
He just had like a cell phone service.
Yeah. So he's still worth like 115 billion. Carlos Slim Helou is a Mexican business oligarch from 2010 to 2013. Ranked as the richest person in the world through his conglomerate Grupo Carso. Let's see what they do. Yeah, they do like industrial, telecom. They own Telmex, Telcel, America Movil. So, you know, my uneducated take on this, I mean, in 2020, he had almost 80,000 employees. You know, this was the biggest CapEx risk that was happening, like massive amounts. Like you basically had this population of 1 billion people in Mexico and Latin America who had like really nascent early like telecommunications relative to like Canada, which was even better than the US, I think at one point with like Bell Canada and all of those. And then so he's like, hey, I'm gonna like build a bunch of power lines down here, like like actually like run cables to all of these different countries so that we can like power them. And then once we power them, we're going to sell everybody cell phones. And then once we sell them cell phones, we're going to like create apps. And so he like created, you know, he had this like cable company where he was like literally running like electrical, telephony, coaxial fiber optics for mining, automotive, others, automotive electrical harnesses, precision steel tubing, power transformers. Like he was like basically powering and then selling cell phones to Mexico and Latin America.
Mm.
And so he started this in 1980 because in the 70s you would go to a lot of these countries and it would just be like you're like 40 years behind the West, basically.
Right.
Like everybody in America by the late 70s had like home phones, you know, they're like talking to each other on. They're like, there's no home phones in Mexico, in a lot of places in Mexico, because like we literally don't have phone lines. So he needed to go build. So it's like basically what's happening now with all this like AI infrastructure of like, we need to build the data centers. Should the data centers be on Earth, in the desert, in space? And so it's this race to figure out like, and so if you invested in Grupo Carso during that period, you became like very, very rich because the market was just like, this is insane. If this actually works, this thing's got to compound at like 30% annually for like enough investors to get behind it to actually go build all this infrastructure out.
I like how people are skipping the step of like taking something that worked in one country and like implementing it or building it for another country. And we're just skipping every single country and the planet and like going straight to space.
Yeah.
And the idea of like, it's like seeing something funny on Reddit and then it's viral on Reddit and you post it on X and you're like, okay, it's probably gonna go viral on X. Like that's how I think about a lot of these ideas that have moved between countries. Namely, the three examples that came to my head were all beverage. Well, I guess one storefront. Yerba, okay, like yerba mate blew up in the US because someone had gone to, I'm not sure where it came from, but someone had gone somewhere,
Argentina.
and it was like, this is gas and people should want to drink this. And then of course they added 80 grams of sugar and got some trendy packaging. Number two, coconut water. Okay. Someone went and was drinking coconut water and everyone else was drinking coconut water around them. They're like, why is no one drinking this in the US? Boom. Now massive market. Three, the biggest story, Howard Schultz in Italy for some conference when he was selling some mixer or like coffee machine or pot. And in Italy, he's like at these cafes where they're serving him lattes and espresso and he's chilling and he's like, why do we not have this in the US? And then that's how Starbucks was born with like these ready-made coffees and espresso bars and lounges and stuff. Pete's may have been doing it before, I think, but obviously Starbucks revolutionized. So
yeah.
Those are three.
Point. Like just, taking, I mean, everything theoretically is like an export or import out of somewhere into somewhere else.
Right.
So, I remember, I think that like you see this with a bunch of just like fashion brands, right? Like, and sometimes it takes forever. Where like, you know, Nike obviously originated in the US, but it even took people being like, oh, we're going to start taking like athletic apparel in the 70s and 80s and putting it on non-athletes. Like you never would have imagined like that a track and field shoe that was like specifically designed for like this one guy to like run super fast would just be like office wear, right? By like the early 90s. And actually then it became like fashionable, like streetwear. And people are like collecting these shoes that you're like originally meant to run in. And now it becomes like a skate brand. And then you see this obviously with like, you know, Lacoste or whatever, you know, blowing up in the 90s and 2000s here, which, you know, gets exported out of Europe. So all this stuff is like starts in one place, gets exported out, gets made popular. But I wonder to that point, like what are the remaining things that like we do in America that like are super popular here that would be cheap, like a mate type drink where it's like would be pretty cheap to go like recreate somewhere else, and it would just be like mind blowing if you like brought this to China.
Totally.
That's the
exactly.
Yeah.
Someone did that with Starbucks. Oh, I can't remember. I think it was there's a story of like these Canadian people, I think, who set up a business somewhere else, and they were blatantly like, yeah, we stole the idea. Like we saw it was working, so we just like moved it over here.
Was
And
it the
like, I don't,
Trader Joe's importers to Canada?
what?
Yeah.
Someone copied Trader Joe's in Canada?
So Trader Joe's, this is amazing. So Trader Joe's still to this day does not operate any locations in Canada and has no current plans to expand there. So there is a now defunct company called Pirate Joe's. Was a specialty grocery store in Vancouver owned by Michael Halott. Its inventory consisted entirely of store brand products resold from locations of the US-based grocer Trader Joe's. So they had this gray market where he was going across the border, and he was like, he found this while working in California, and he would buy $4,000 to $5,000 worth of products and then mark each product up $2 to $3 and sell it in Vancouver.
And they never, is this legal? Like, can you
It
just
was
like,
very illegal.
oh, okay.
And so he immediately, like as soon as he opened this thing, Trader Joe's filed a lawsuit in the state of Washington. Man, Washington is in the news this week.
Washington, man.
After the lawsuit was filed, he began marketing the shop as being unauthorized, unaffiliated, and unafraid, and modified the store's window sign to read Irate Joe's.
He just removed the P.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't happy with Trader.
Argued Trader Joe's had no chance of winning the lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't win. He didn't win or lose. It just got to be too expensive, and he gave up after 4 years.
Okay, so here we go. Power couple makes more than 500 million copying Starbucks. So let's see what the deal is. Wait. Okay, this is about, I guess they got canceled. Oklahoma. Oh, nope. Never mind. This is about people who sued Starbucks, but this is equally as interesting. An Oklahoma couple were charged $4,000 tip, and it caused financial distress. I wonder how much they won. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Power couple. Oh,
This couple made millions copying Starbucks. Then they built a billion-dollar pizza chain that copied Chipotle. In the 1980s, Seattle became the epicenter of American coffee culture. It's why Scott and Ali Svensson were so homesick when they left Washington to live in London. People in the UK were primarily tea drinkers, which meant a good cup of coffee was hard to come by. That's why they started Seattle Coffee Company.
okay. That's way too much. But yep, they just copied Starbucks, and then they copied, and then I think they were the founders of Mod Pizza, which I think is now going bankrupt. But on your point about people wearing athletic wear just normally, I just thought about this, about Lululemon yoga pants. I was like, did those actually start like for yoga people only? Because now they're such just a staple of like modern fashion where everyone, and now I think the latest is running shoes, where it's like, okay, people wear Nikes, maybe you wear Nikes around, but now it's like I wear Hokas that are like the most intense running shoe everywhere, just because they're comfortable. Like, why not?
Yeah, I think we've definitely gone to comfort in fashion. I mean, I'm wearing a little loungewear thing basically in my office with shorts and sandals right now. So it's just all about, I don't want to be too hot. I'm layered up, and
Work
so
from
the whole
home.
world, as we've gone remote, like nobody gives a shit anymore. You can just wear whatever.
You're rich, so you're fine. But when I work from home, I still need to wear pants, because there was a while where I was wearing shorts with no underwear, and working from home, and that I needed to turn my life around at that point. So now
Luckily, all of your clients watch this stream, so it's good information for them.
Now I make it a point and wear pants for sure.
So one funny thing that I saw that is related to like somebody accidentally getting rich is let's say, and I wonder how often this happens. I've seen this on other sites, but this is the funniest example. Let's say, like, I don't even know how many times a day do you think people manually type Gmail, like type Gmail into their browsers? Like, it has to happen a billion times a day.
Totally.
And so this guy, Adam Draper, who's a VC, accidentally typed GAIL. He skipped the M. And when you go to Gale.com, this is what the entire site looks like. Hello and welcome to the Gale.com FAQ. Are you interested in selling Gale.com? How did you manage to get Gale.com? My husband registered it as a birthday gift back in 1996. In 2020, this page received a total of 6 million hits, which is an average of 16,000 per day.
Holy crap.
Is your website popular? Blah, blah, blah. I tried to send some photos to my girlfriend and typed Gale.com instead of Gmail in the address field. These photos were of a very personal nature. Can you please delete them? There are only 2 valid email addresses on the Gale.com domain, so it's extremely likely that your photos were rejected. Yeah.
And it rejects about 1.2 million messages per week because people do at Gale.com. That's crazy.
I wonder, like, if so it's such a power move. Like, imagine that somebody, like, you're at like a rental counter and you're checking like out a car or whatever. The guy's like, oh, can I just get the best email to send you the receipt? And you're like, yeah, it's just Kevin@Kevin.com. He'd be like, there's no way. If you're just Gale@Gale.com, I actually have to imagine people would mistake that for like Gale@Gmail.com. And like, she's probably getting incorrect mail sent to a random Gale@Gmail. But yeah.
Well, the .co, I always get nervous because my business email is .co. And I'm like, I bet many people have tried to email me. But I'm currently on GoDaddy trying to figure out what we can buy to be the next. So I've been doing Gmake, which is next to L, but it's taken another one next to L is O. We can try P here. What are some other? Oh God, we're getting killed. Okay, what about this? Gmackle. Okay, yeah, it's getting patched.
GMQIL,
Gnail,Ghale.
I'm sure people have grabbed all these.
Yeah.
The interesting one would be like, it's probably not as good, but it's like it would be lower volume, but you take one of those sites that gets just tons of traffic.
Stop. We need to raise. We need to raise right now. Start the GoFundMe.
Actually, naming your company like Hate Mail and then having hmail.com would be clutch. Oh, you almost did you almost buy? Did you reveal your credit card number and then almost buy a $250,000 domain?
Yeah, I know. So I just revealed my address.
That's fine. Clip it out.
Well, hmail.com.
Hmail.com. So you could do like FACEBOIK, like Facebook, maybe gets tight. Like, you could test all these and see what the traffic is and then just go buy the one.
Also, look at this. So the domain is $250,000 and the taxes and fees are $1.56.
So no taxes, but a $1 fee. I wonder if they're using numeral.com to keep compliant on all of their state taxes and sales taxes.
If Hmail was an e-commerce brand, what would they sell?
Hmail was an e-com brand. They would sell I think it would be like Hate Mail as a service. Like, we'll handwrite a really mean card to your ex and like physically mail it to them or like, email it to them through this like encrypted server. So it never comes back to you.
Right. That's like the potato mailing company. So let's think about
company.
Let's think about this from Numeral's perspective. So if you guys don't know what Numeral is, before I get into this potato parcel, Numeral is the fastest and most accurate way to stay compliant with U.S. sales tax and global value-added tax, AI native solution for sales tax. So whatever you're selling, wherever you're selling, you do not want to be in charge of taxes. No one wants to track it. Sales taxes are different all over. Things are classified differently in different states and different countries. So let Numeral take care of it. Okay. So I think these guys, if I was to run this company, I'd definitely use Potato Parcel, which is any message you want on a potato shipped to their door. Okay. And now there's like many of these sites where you can just have someone write a Sharpie or mail people a potato with, I guess, a picture.
Photo potato. Wow.
So let's say you're mailing a photo potato for $23. Okay. If you're shipping this potato to like Ohio, the sales tax, it could be, maybe it's classified as a gift and you have to pay 5%. But in Tennessee, it's produce and then you're taxed at 4%. And it's just it's a mess. But I was looking at acquiring one of these companies, and then I thought, instead of acquiring it, I'm just going to build my own potato mailing company. And I was like, okay, I need a lot of people for this operation. First of all, I need SEO to advertise my potato company. Then I need people to fulfill the orders. I need people to print the photos and attach them to the potato. I need people to provide tracking and customer support. And luckily, the folks that hire overseas staffed me with everybody I needed. Like I thought at first that I'd only be able to hire like the operations people or maybe customer support from him. But once I talked to the boys, Philip and Harlan, they were like, nah, dude, like we got everything you need, whatever you need. If you need a CFO, we got you. We've staffed people at car dealerships. We've staffed 20 people at an AI company. We've done everything. So that's why I recommend hire overseas. Big sponsors of the show, fans of the show. Don't pay Athena $2,200 in margin when you can get a better employee at hireoverseas.com.
We use them for everything. They're fast. Their talent is super highly vetted. Both Philip and Harlan had built out massive teams of their own. They've been contractors themselves. They've hired hundreds of contractors, and they were just tired of all these random platforms delivering terrible people who are overpriced. And the hire overseas people that we've worked with have been absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10. We recommend.
This is like how you go to a different country and you try coconut water and then you bring it to the US and you're like, guys, you need to drink coconut water. And then suddenly everyone's doing it. Like ideas, like people, are easily transferred from one country to the other. And what these guys are doing are finding amazing talents overseas and applying them to your business and your work. So think of it like coconut water if you like coconut water.
We are coconut water for talent. That's how they should describe it.
Another sponsor of the show, which a company with a crazy origin story. So this founder came up out of the mud. This guy was on his last dollar, living in hardly a multi-million-dollar house. His pool kept breaking. His ADU needed permits. So this guy was going through it. And one day he had a dream of a LinkedIn post. And that idea was a seed that slowly grew into Napa.com. Use Napa.com. Use Napa.com.
Actually, what is Napa.com? Is it the auto parts?
Use Gmail.com.
Use Gmail.
They should rebrand.
But then just sell the Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, shoot. Let me share that again. I'm sure Napa is the auto parts, huh?
No, it's like a random marketing company. That's hilarious.
That's wild.
It's like a consulting cloud services DevOps. That's awesome.
Tell us about usenapa.com.
Usenapa.com. Most people have found that sending cold email, it's not the move. If you need customers, what are you going to do? You're going to buy TSA bins for $30,000 and then get arrested on fraud charges and go to jail? No, that's also not the move. Oh, you're going to spend $15,000 acquiring one customer through billboards in Central Texas? Not always the move.
Right.
The way to get scale as a founder or an executive is to post your way into a few million and then a few $1 billion in customers. You know why Elon posts like 37 times a day on X? Because he's moving Teslas. We're selling Optimus robots. We're selling Starlink. We've got products to move and we've got a captive audience. So if you're trying to build your audience, if you're trying to, sell some products, you're a consumer founder, you're a B2B founder, you're an AI founder, you're not a founder, but you're an executive and you have money, go spend it with usenapa.com. Get some leads, do some shit posts, do some thought leadership, share an infographic, have a hot take. It doesn't even have to be you doing it. You can just tell the team, I want to be funny. Go make my future customers laugh. And they'll meme you into existence. Or you can say, hey, I don't actually have a lot of good ideas and thoughts about AI, but I want to be sharing on LinkedIn as if I'm the greatest thought leader of all time. And the team will go make it happen. So use napa.com. They'll make you internet famous.
And that's like kind of the whole point of life at this point. AI is taking people's jobs, but AI can't take your personal brand away. By the way, if you want getgmail.com, it's for sale, but it's not for sale by GoDaddy. You have to email info@getgmail.com because this person knows exactly what they're doing.
They have the goods.
Go to usenapa.com for ghostwriting content. Go to hireoverseas.com for hiring. Go to numeral.com for sales tax. And go to church for peace of mind. Let's go.
Oh, it's getting washed out. Oh, God.
The ring light's too powerful.
Yeah, too powerful. We have Raised and Confused stickers.
Raised and Confused, guys. If you're a friend or fan of the show, go ahead and do something and we'll probably send you one, even though I really don't want to have to manually ship all these things. But if that's what I have to do, I'm going to do it. But I'm planning to go to Europe, go to all these like historical monuments and then slap a sticker onto it.
Hit the Parthenon.
I'm just missing a QR code.
Parthenon, QR code. That's where it's at.
Okay, what else we got? What the hell even happened?
What happened in the world?
Yeah, world, especially the world of tech.
This is a well, okay. You may have seen Meek Mill has been tweeting a lot about AI.
I did.
And so now all the random accounts are coming after like who would be the funniest celebrity and how would they use AI? Tyreek Hill, who I think has like 9 kids with 8 different women, something like that, says he used Claude to build an automated payment system to each baby mama. 1st and 15th of the month, payments get sent automatically. 422,000 likes.
Speaking of Claude, they ship new features every single day. But the one that they released yesterday is maybe the best. Okay, first of all, sorry, I was distracted for the past 1 minute because this is, I think, the greatest decision I've ever made. I have officially acquired usegoogle.com for $12. It was somehow available and super cheap. So now, unfortunately, use Gmail was taken, but I'm gonna make I'm gonna set up an email, and then when I'm at REI buying a backpack, I'm gonna go, yeah, it's Kevin at usegoogle.com. I think
I mean, it feels like a great purchase for $12.
this should be a meme where you just get like outrageous domains and then go tell people when you sign up for stuff like, oh, what's your email? And just be like, oh, Kevin at actually I'm trying to
You
think
should
of one.
be. You could be like, your actual email could be at Kevin Baker at usegoogle.com. And it would be so confusing to be like, wait, the at, and it's like, no, it's the letters AT Kevin Baker.
Okay. Do you approve of this purchase for $14.55?
It is incredible, by the way, that the taxes and fees on a $12 domain are the same as on a $250,000 domain. They just charge
Right.
you $1.56 in Washington.
So
Yeah.
man, I mean, I think that might have been a complete waste of money. Like I have no idea what I'm actually going to do with that site, except it'll be good for a Twitter post.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, all the dumb domains that I've bought, I would be very proud to own usegoogle.com. I wonder, like, if you did anything with it, though, would it just get like trademark stuff? But there's probably a business here where you get it popular enough where like Google has to send you like a little bit of like you just say like 10 grand and it's yours.
Right. Right. Okay, next we need to get Facebook and get Gmail. Okay, but sorry, about Claude. So Claude released this feature, which is essentially like a duplicate of OpenClaw. You can now enable Claude to complete tasks. It opens your apps, navigates your browser, fills in spreadsheets, anything you do sitting at your desk. And using Dispatch, which is also a relatively new feature where you can communicate with Claude Desktop from your phone, it's like extremely powerful because you can now tell Claude, hey, go book me a dinner reservation for tonight at 6 p.m. at some place that has room. Or, hey, can you look at my email and then tell me what I need to reply to and then draft some Slacks, or oh my gosh, hey, can you download that PowerPoint that's on my desktop and send it to this guy? I forgot. And so the mouse jiggling, people are saying the mouse jiggling is over. Felix Reisberg, we're releasing a feature that allows Claude to control your computer, mouse, keyboard, and screen, giving it the ability to use any app.
This is going to go so poorly. Like, I'm not saying with Claude specifically. I just think like, I was thinking about if I would do this. And one of the things that I did right before this stream is I had to go into my business bank account and send somebody $3,000. And I'm just like, on the one hand, I don't really think twice about connecting my personal or business bank accounts into like Plaid or hooking things up to Stripe. And there's like automations that happen, through Plaid and through Stripe that like I don't think twice about. It's just like, it seems very frightening to give read and write access to something that you don't like, makes mistakes. Like AI makes mistakes all the time. And there are just a lot of things that happen with like emailing people or texting people things. Or, I mean, what if your Claude is just like screenshotting your like, bank account information and like emailing it to your leads or something like that. It's just like so many things can go off the rails. But I do think that the argument of like, ultimately, as the technology gets better, it's going to be like self-driving cars. It's like actually way safer. Like Claude will eventually have rails in place to like not send people money, but like humans will. And so humans will like screw up entering the routing number and like get screwed way more often than like, just trusting Claude to do it.
I'm the opposite. I was literally asking Claude 3 days ago, like, can I give you my credit card? Like, please. I'm like, let's just go. Cause like when I'm in Europe, I just want to be like, hey, look up like whatever the best hostels are in Albania and find one that has like a private room if you can and book it for me. And then just let me know like where it's at. And honestly, I'm super down for that because otherwise I'm just going to use Claude to find a hostel, then have to go on this site and enter all my info and shit. And if I'm going to let Claude make my decision, I'll let Claude buy that too.
Yeah.
So
it's fair.
But people are getting worked up. I think the funny thing now is like, it is just a race of like, no matter what job you're in, to just try to like use all these features that are coming out just so you stay up to date and like you keep flexing this muscle and you're staying on the edge. Because the worst thing you can do now is even if you're in a corporate job that doesn't have any of this stuff, if you get out of the loop, then you're going to be screwed when you go to your next job.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a lot harder to get a job.
Yep. Yeah. I think just staying, it used to be so bad if you would like sit, if you like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even, I couldn't imagine like if you were working a traditional corporate job and you're just like out in like the open at some cubicle and you're just like reading Twitter all day. But now if you read the right stuff on X, you can just like find a tool that will do any task, any job for you in like 2 minutes. And so your job is just like consuming media to like never fall behind, to go do the thing that will like automate what would have otherwise taken you like an entire day to do.
Right.
Yeah. The whole world, it's like, we're at this point though, where it's like, we see this with, even at like the Napa side of things, use napa.com, use google.com. Both. Oh, we should put Google as a sponsor and then just shout out use google.com. Let's do it next time. Google sponsor, Napa sponsor. There was something with like, I remember 6 or 7 years ago with like a small company, we were paying, what was the company? Chartio, Chartio. Let's see if they're still in business. It was like a very hot YC company announcing our acquisition. Oh, so Atlassian acquired Chartio in 2021. Probably a great time to sell. We were spending like $22,000 a year on analytics just so we could see like reading our Stripe, like extrapolating revenue, putting it in one place, reading all of our customer support tickets from Zendesk, like put ticket volume, just so that even with like a 10-person company, we could get a sense of like, do we have people churning? What are our company KPIs? Spending like $1,500 a month on that. We basically did a similar thing. Somebody non-technical did that in like half a day at Napa. And like the result is like way better than what we ever had in Chartio. So like Atlassian paid, let's see, Chartio acquired for.
It was just an aggregator of your data so you could look at your like revenue and connect your tools in one place.
Yeah, and like social analytics for clients just pulled automatically, like anything analytical that you would need, like but just combining everything. Like if there's an account where there's like 10 people posting and we're just trying to get like aggregate impressions and like average number of likes, and are the likes going up or down, like all that was just like clotted in one day. And I mean, and like you would have had to, so it looked like Atlassian acquired Chartio for about $50 million.
Holy crap.
So, I mean, it's like that. They have tons of these startups that are paying 20, 30, 40 grand a year for that, as one example of one tool that I'm like, I would never consider a Chartio replacement. Like, either I'm going to like vibe code a CRM and I'm going to put analytics into that CRM, or I'm going to do like a standalone report that gets emailed to me and Slack to all customers once a week, whatever it is. Like, it's all these like little like fringe tools are just slowly going to go away. I think we haven't we haven't like felt the impact of it, but like we're seeing it in the amount that we're spending, even in like a small business. It's pretty wild.
Well, this is maybe one of the things to wrap us up. This is one of the greatest posts I've ever seen. Y'all worried about the wrong open claw. This is unreal.
Also, Tweet Davidson is such a great name. I'm very jealous that he came up with that.
Tweet Davidson, that's insane.
10 out of 10. All right, should we call it?
Let's do it.
By the way, we gotta figure out how to wait. We gotta figure out how to boost these streams. The X is like deprioritizing streams, it feels like.
Not surprised we're getting censored by the mainstream media once again. We're getting censored by Kirkland Signature.
Kirkland Signature raising confused.
We're getting yeah, exactly. Kirkland Signature starting a podcast brand would be so funny. Barstool. Anyways, guys, happy Tuesday. If you see anything funny, send them to us. If you want a sticker, just hit me up. I will send you guys ones. Hit me up in the next couple days. Ship you one. And
I think the chat once again has not worked for the last hour. It looks like, so that's good. We're killing it.
This is ridiculous. We need to discuss offline about this OBS thing and how we can get chat back in working order.
Yeah.
We just need people to we just need people in the background of the stream whenever they have a comment. Like if they're gonna watch, we should just let them like be in the back and then just say stuff with their voice anytime they have a comment.
Like just chiming in. They can override us at any point.
Yeah. Cool.
It's like it feels like a Patreon perk or something for some of these streams, right? You can just you can like mute the streamer and then just like say whatever you want for like 3 seconds if you donate $20. It's coming.
And we're gonna host it on usegoogle.com, guys. Go to usegoogle.com. Go to usegoogle.com if you want to learn more.
Hell yeah.
Wow, the landing page is already up. I can't believe I just spent $12. People say, oh, don't spend $5 on a coffee every day. Bro, I just spent $14 on this.
Use Google. You need to get all of them. Like go Google, try Google. Like you need all the prefixes.
Oh, trygoogle.com is really good. All right.
Till next time.
We'll talk next Tuesday.